online rooms. You can head over to discord.lrn.fm and hop into any one of those rooms there. And then you'll be able to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And tonight, it's Ian here.
Nobody.
And Chris.
All right. So, Chris, I know you wanted to talk about so-called piracy coming up here tonight. One cable company apparently is being accused of, well, just their whole existence.
Yes.
So we're going to get into that. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. Plus, apparently they're alleging that the first U.S. death caused by vaping has been confirmed. So there's been a lot of fear-mongering out there about vaping as opposed to smoking. Does it deserve all of the fear-mongering that it's getting? We can get into that. Plus, apparently, looks like J.P. Morgan Chase and other major banks did an audit of some of the gold they had in their vaults.
Oh, no.
Oof. Turns out thousands of fake gold bars were discovered.
Wait,
while they were doing
really?
That. Yeah.
Fake gold bars?
You want to start with this one?
Not fake
wow.
gold, fake stamps.
What do you mean?
It's real gold that is stamped with, assuming this is the same story I've been reading about, it's real gold stamped with false manufacturer IDs, and in a lot of cases they're finding duplicate serial numbers. The reason is they try to keep people from bringing new gold into the system by saying, oh, that might have been mined someplace where there's a war and we can't let people, work if there's a war going on. So they try to keep this conflict gold out of the economy. And so people, gold is gold. They restamp it with whatever it takes to get it accepted, and they get it accepted.
Yeah, I think you're right about that here, because the story I'd originally had was from Cointelegraph, which just calls them fake. But then when you click on the Reuters story they're citing, it does talk about fake branded
All right, so it's not
bars.
really fake gold. It is really gold.
It's really-
just that
really gold,
it's not authorized.
Gold-
Yeah, it's not licensed by the government to be gold.
Where can I
But
buy
it's not
that?
going to stop being gold anyway.
Right.
Right, like where can I buy this fake gold? I'm kind of interested in this.
Well, call up
product.
Chase, see what they have to say about
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah, I'll give them 75 cents on the dollar for it.
Gold bars fraudulently stamped with the logos of major refineries are being inserted into the global market to launder smuggled or illegal gold. Refining and banking executives tell Reuters the fakes are hard to detect, making them an ideal fund runner for narcotics dealers or warlords. So,
Right, duh. You understand that once you melt gold down, it can't be distinguished from one
right, it's fungible.
bar from another. Like the idea that you're going to be able to magically trace the gold back to its original source is just that's ridiculous. It's not. It's just that it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to start mixing like a small quantity of some radioactive isotope into the gold so they can
Just so they can identify
it
it?
later.
Oh
yeah.
wow, that would be interesting. I wonder what happens. I guess when you melt it down. That's interesting. It's interesting because normally when you melt gold down, it's untraceable. It's like one of the few things that like you really can't trace.
Right.
Well,
but of course, you'd have to find a way to encode it, and then everybody's got
Yeah.
radioactive gold, which they
Well,
might
they can
not like
trace.
as well.
They can trace like radioactive materials or something like that. So I don't know. It's a good question. I wonder if it's. I wonder if melting it down would release the radiation, or if there's any way to separate the two.
I don't think so. I think the half-life of radioactive materials stays constant regardless of temperature, but I don't know for sure.
Well, it sounds like all they really have here for identifying these bars are essentially just a fancy stamp that the manufacturer puts on them. And I mean, this is a relatively low-tech form of identification or certification. And so all you got to do is have a really good stamping, whatever kind of equipment that you need to stamp. I mean, if we had Silver Dave here, he'd probably be able to tell us about it because he's done some, gold and silver work with it at this sort of level.
We never have the right people in on the right days that know about the topics.
Well, Silver Dave's taking time off. He's going to school, so he's going to a local college here in the area. Anyway, in the last 3 years, bars worth at least $50 million, stamped with Swiss refinery logos, but not actually produced by those facilities, have been identified by all 4 of Switzerland's leading gold refiners and found in the vaults of J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, one of the major banks at the heart of the market in bullion, said senior executives at gold refineries, banks, and other industry sources. Now, I wonder what it is that, when they discover that they've got so-called fakes, even though it's real gold, what do they do with it?
I want to know how they distinguish the fake gold with the same serial numbers from the real gold with those serial numbers.
Well, they didn't. I mean, for a long time, for some amount of time, they have them in their vaults.
Right.
So
well, I
failed.
know one of them is fake, right? But which one? That's the point. That's what I'm trying to get.
Well, generally any counterfeit like that, and they talk in a Reuters, I think it was a Reuters story I read before, they talk a little bit about how it used to be a lot easier to distinguish it because there would be errors, even misspellings of words, because these are probably being done in China. So, not with English as the first language.
Right, they call that English.
English,
yeah.
Yes. But as time is going on, I mean, it's not that hard to reproduce a mold. So they're getting there.
Four of the executives said at least 1,000 of the bars of a standard size known as a kilobar for their weight have been found. That is a small share of output from the gold industry, which produces roughly 2 million to 2.5 million such bars each year. But the forgeries are sophisticated, so thousands more may have gone undetected, according to the head of Switzerland's biggest refinery. Quote, the latest fake bars are highly professionally done, said the chief executive of Valcambi. He said maybe a couple of thousand have been found, but the likelihood is that there are, quote, way, way, way more still in circulation, and it still exists, and it still works, he says. Fake gold bars, blocks of cheaper metal plated with gold, are relatively common in the gold industry and often easy to detect. The counterfeits in these cases are subtler. The gold is real, as you said, nobody, and very high purity, with only the markings faked. Fake branded bars are a relatively new way to flout global measures to block conflict minerals and prevent money laundering. Such forgeries. So I didn't even know I learned something from this. I didn't realize that one gold bar was, different from another gold bar as far as bankers are concerned. They've got themselves a little counterfeit detection system. They're trying to stop money laundering.
Well, okay, so
they're trying to stop unauthorized people from having wealth is what they're doing. They're trying to make anything that isn't under their control less valuable.
Did you say it was silver bars but
Gold
wrapped in
bars.
gold?
No. They were talking about it. That was just the article kind of referencing what a traditional fake gold bar is.
That would be a traditional fake gold
Yeah,
bar.
and that would actually be fake gold, less valuable than gold.
Right.
And that you can test for pretty easily by, there's like
Weights
resistance
or
tests.
something? Okay.
That you
Yeah,
can
that
do
probably would work
on
too.
gold. So there are ways to detect those. But in this case,
The gold is real.
this case it's real
Yeah,
gold. It's
yeah.
going to pass all the tests to prove that it's real gold. It's just that the stamp is fake. And I think you make a great point here, Nobody, is that there's nothing wrong with this gold. It's gold. Maybe it did come from some sort of a conflict zone. We don't know. As you pointed out, Chris, you don't know. It's gold. It could have been melted down. You don't know where it came from. I guess the idea behind this tracking system is that they then have some idea of where it came from. But I think you're right. It's to keep gold out of the hands of, the unconnected, the non-bankers.
Of course, what isn't classified as conflict gold is all of the gold that the U.S. government stole from the Iraqis. That's not war gold, even though they went to war and stole it.
How about the gold they stole from the people in the United States back in the 1930s?
That too.
That's what I was thinking of when you started bringing it up, Paul.
So we got more coming up here. You can join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can take control of the airwaves. Coming up, Piracy. We'll get into it and more on Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. Go Dark Bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkBags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkBags.com/FTL.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy. So it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet, the report's authors added, if you only look closer, what you find may surprise you. In other news, a man is just having one of those decades where he doesn't feel like doing anything.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want. Just dial in. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm. Tonight, it's Ian here.
Nobody.
And Chris.
And if you are a business owner and you want to start taking cryptocurrency, then helpmetakebitcoin.com makes it super easy for you. They've got an app. You install the app, you use it, and it's free to accept crypto. You don't have to pay any fees to the folks over at helpmetakebitcoin.com. They want you to be accepting Bitcoin and Dash, Zcash, and Bitcoin Cash, and a bunch of others. It's up to you. You don't have to take them all. You can take the ones that are your favorites. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. The app's available for iOS and Android. And even if you've never done anything with cryptocurrency before, they'll walk you right through the process. And within moments from having visited HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com, you will be all set and accepting cryptocurrency at your point of sale. It's HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts, but they're essentially being rejected by the banks who accidentally put them into their vaults. And the estimated numbers here are well over 1,000 of these kilobars, as they are called. So I presume that's a kilogram of gold. And they don't have the right stamps on them. So they're not able to figure out where they actually came from because they're essentially counterfeit stamps on real gold. So they passed whatever.
It's undocumented gold.
Correct. That's right. That's the best kind of gold, right? That's why you were saying, Chris, where do you get your hands on this stuff?
Yeah, give me a bunch of bars with the same serial number. Then, if somebody's trying to track what I'm doing with it, they can't.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of untrackable gold out there in the marketplace. Most gold that you buy from an individual, or in a lot of cases, some of the companies that sell gold, there's not the same kind of know your customer requirements as I understand it on buying and selling gold. Like if you go down to the gold, like the silver shop or gold shop in town, and you plunk down some cash, they don't normally ID you for it, do they?
If it's over like 10 grand or something like that, they will.
Yeah, basically,
okay.
I mean,
unless
your
you're using
coin
a wire
shop
transfer or something like
probably isn't going to sell it in $10,000 batches.
No,
but
that would buy out most of their
But
inventory.
if you go to R&R and you
Roberts
and Roberts, and you try to buy $10,000 worth of gold, they're going to have to do some KYC on it.
And keep in mind that
the average person isn't going to do that.
The KYC stuff is really applicable, or something along the same lines of KYC anyway, is applicable to any business. It doesn't really matter who you are, or an individual for that matter. You technically are supposed to do that, basically, get their ID or whatever, if you are receiving any kind of like a cash payment.
They can go pound sand. I didn't agree to their rules, whatever rules they have.
This is what the law says, or this is what they claim, the government says. So,
sure, they say a lot of things about what they want you to do.
Right.
So I don't think that you should.
I would agree, but generally, if it's not a wire transfer or a check or something of that nature, then you're going to have to.
That's interesting because I had never heard of that before this year. I think you might have been the one who told me. I'm not sure. But,
probably.
I'd never heard of that before, and that surprises me because it almost sounds like they're demanding that everyone who's in business essentially obey Bank Secrecy Act requirements that only generally money transmitters and money services businesses, banker types.
It's going to be a really small percentage of transactions where somebody is taking more than $10,000. In cash. So it's not generally an issue for most businesses, but there could be circumstances where, if you're selling, Prada bags and somebody comes in and they want to buy more than $10,000 worth because they're a wealthy individual, they may be, for whatever reason, want to pay with cash and for privacy reasons. And technically at that point, the business owner is supposed to, get that information down before they sell it to them in cash. It's not illegal to do. It's just, they got to get the right information for the government.
Wait, it's not illegal?
It's not illegal to sell for more than $10,000 in cash. It's just that they have to do the KYC.
Or else what?
Theoretically, they can be fined by the government for failing to comply with the KYC or whatever they call it relative to businesses.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't know what their rules are, and really I don't care what their rules are. I'm not their agent, and I'm not obligated to follow their rules, and they can't prove that I'm obligated to follow their rules.
Yeah, what
I think they're going to disagree with you on that, but certainly,
they will.
I certainly think that it's what they're doing.
It's also against my religion.
It's
to follow their
wrong.
rules.
I think it's wrong what they're demanding. But I think they're definitely going to have a different perspective on this than the people who are.
It's also against my religion to follow their rules.
The hard thing is finding a counterparty who's willing to ignore the rules. So if you want to pay cash for a car, now if you buy it off Craigslist, you're probably okay. if you buy it at a dealership for cash, they're almost certainly going to do some KYC.
Right. And this is exactly the point. A very good point here is very much this. It's, you can certainly get stuff for more than $10,000 and not, comply with the KYC stuff, but you have to find a seller who doesn't know about those rules. Right. Most don't. But if you're a bank or you're a dealership that deals in high-end, items or goods, you're more likely going to have a hard time buying that type of product from those high-end places than you would if you're buying off of Craigslist, even if it's over $10,000 and they're supposed to and they don't really do the KYC.
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. The story from Reuters on the, I don't want to call it fake gold, the stamped gold that wasn't legitimately stamped or whatever. High gold prices have triggered a boom in informal and illegal mining since the mid-2000s. Without the stamp of a prestigious refinery, such gold would be forced into underground networks or priced at a discount. By pirating Swiss and other major brands, metal that has been mined or processed in places that would not otherwise be legal or acceptable in the West, for example in parts of Africa, Venezuela, or North Korea, can be injected into the market, channeling funds to criminals or regimes that are sanctioned. It's not clear who's making the bars found so far, but executives and bankers told Reuters they think they mostly originate in China, the world's largest gold producer and importer, and have entered the market via dealers and trading houses in Hong Kong, Japan, and Thailand. Once accepted by a mainstream gold dealer in these places, they can quickly spread into supply chains worldwide. Word of the forged bars began to circulate quietly in gold industry circles after the first half of 2017 when J.P. Morgan, which is one of the 5 banks which finalized trades in the $10 trillion a year London gold market, found that its vaults contained at least 2 gold kilobars stamped with the same identification number. So that's what tipped them off. It wasn't because somebody recognized, oh, this looks like a fake. It's they had an inventory of numbers, and one of them happened to be the same
Not only
number.
that, but it's duplicate numbers at the same bank. If it was at different banks, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Caught.
Like that.
Yeah,
right.
10 people familiar with the matter told Reuters, and they couldn't determine where the vaults were. J.P. Morgan declined to directly address questions about the fraudulent bullion or comment on any details of the story. So what do they do? What do they do when they find one of these mismarked bars? Do they then just sell it off on the market at a lower price to get rid of it? What do they do with it? They certainly aren't throwing it away. So
I would think that the government would probably seize it and then auction it off, and then the government would keep the money, and the bank would be out.
I'd be surprised if the government seized it from the banks.
I think you'd be kind of right, but anybody else, they certainly would have.
855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556 ICAGoldSilver.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Just take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about forged gold bars, meaning the stamps on those bars apparently was forged, but the gold itself was real. Happened to be accidentally detected in a vault of J.P. Morgan Chase. And it's just kind of new information to me. I guess it makes sense that the system would have a system for tracking these things, and they don't like gold that is untracked. They don't like gold that hasn't had a known chain of custody where they can hop back and see who the previous owners were.
They don't like anything to exist without their greasy little fingers all over it.
The amount, it's funny how the amount of effort that goes into preventing money laundering, in spite of the fact that so much money laundering continues to go on, in spite of all the effort that's put into stopping it. And just one example, like try shipping a watch overseas. Most countries will prevent you from importing watches.
Really?
Yeah, simply because some watches, they can be expensive and everything else, and so all watches are banned.
Wow.
Coins are banned. Things that are small of high dollar value are frequently banned.
Is this only for individuals, or can a company get a bunch of watches shipped in? Because obviously somebody's selling watches probably at retail in that country.
That's a good question. This is
you got to be politically connected.
This is like customs rules. So I don't know. I would think theoretically you wouldn't be able to do it via DHL or UPS or FedEx or any of the carriers. But certainly if you check out like the USPS's website, different countries will list what is permitted and what is not permitted.
Huh.
And so most of your countries will list things that are not permitted. One of the things that most of your countries will list is things like watches and gold coins and things like that.
Well, whether you want to talk about so-called forgeries or whatever's on your mind, you can take control of the airwaves here. And for a long time, liberty-minded people have really wanted a good, liberty-friendly business directory. And one finally exists. There was a couple of attempts that some people tried to make, and they weren't that great. Liberty.menu is pretty great. In fact, it's easy to use, it's attractive, and it's free. So, if you're somebody who is an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, then you can put your voluntarist ideas into action by going to liberty.menu and using code FTL on your profile. You can get a Free Talk Live listener badge. We can't give you a discount because the site's free. So get on over to liberty.menu. Now, there are some upgrades you can pay for your listings if you'd like, but it's a great site. It looks good, and it's easy to use at liberty.menu, and it is free. So we continue here. So I don't know if you guys have any more comments. I think we pretty much covered the gold story. There's more to the story, but it's more just interviews with people in the business and not really worth sharing with you. But if you do want to comment, you're welcome to dial in. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I was actually just looking, Nobody, you might be kind of interested in this, because you've been interested in the gold and silver-backed cryptocurrencies out there. Mm-hmm. I found kind of like a rundown piece where they look at like all of the different gold and crypto or silver-backed cryptos that they could find. And there was a shocking number of them. I didn't realize how many of them out there were. I thought maybe there was like 2 or 3, but it's more like 20. And so if you actually want to assess all of the different gold-backed crypto tokens or cryptos or whatever, there's different kind of approaches that companies are taking. I got into it late last night, and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of interested in this, but I'm already up too late, so I didn't want to look into it. But there's like an overwhelming number of options out there. It'd be hard to pick a favorite out of them, I suspect.
Well, and really, it should be more or less irrelevant which one you have, because the only thing that matters is the counterparty who issued the token actually in possession of the gold and willing to cough it up, and if and when you come and redeem it.
Right? Are they audited?
Yeah.
Is there a third
are they
party?
audited? Are they trustworthy?
Yeah.
And how do you know the third party is not in bed with them?
How do you know? These are excellent questions.
I always feel like when we start talking about gold and silver and other backed or anything that's backed by something, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, I always feel like this is just another scam, because we don't really. It doesn't get us away. It always ends up tying it to some centralized authority.
Well, there has to be a place where the gold is
That's what
kept.
I'm trying to get away from, not
right. And
move toward.
That's, to me, that is one of the most frustrating parts, because I appreciate the idea of a gold-backed crypto or a silver-backed crypto.
I appreciate the idea behind it too, right? Like, but it just doesn't match up with like what I would say would be something that would be like a safe,
like secure.
Secure, right?
Because
like,
I know what happened to the Liberty Dollar.
Right.
They got raided. Their vault was raided.
Right.
They took all of the gold and silver and the copper from the Liberty Dollar people. Now, there was a court case, and a decade later, the court decided that the people who had their silver stolen from them could get it back. Technically, I had silver stolen from me in that particular raid, but I didn't want to go through the court procedure to try to get it back. I just didn't want to, put my name into the whatever system and have the government know, oh, yeah, this is one of the people who
It's not worth the risk that you potentially put yourself into.
I mean, it was only a few $100, so it wasn't, the end of the world, but I bet there were a lot of people with significantly more.
Of course.
So it's, that's to me the hardest part about wanting to get behind a gold-backed crypto is like, well, how do we know the government's not going to just raid their vault? I mean, the vault isn't going to get into a shootout with the government agents. They've got security, but that's only for little criminals. When the government gang comes in there, those vault security agents are just going to step aside. Oh, that looks like a legal warrant to us. Come right in, Mr. Government goon.
It's almost. I feel like there maybe could be some way to reduce the risk. And create something that's more stable, that's backed by something maybe. But it's somehow got to be.
Has anybody ever been raided? I mean, since the Great Depression, when, of course, they were putting people in prison for having gold at all. But having gold is legal now. The Liberty Dollar people were accused, probably unjustly, of fraud, but that was the excuse
of counterfeiting,
that they were
specifically.
Of basically encouraging people to try to pass the $20 Liberty Dollar coins as $20. And that's, it's not dollars. It's an ounce of silver. But I've never heard of, certainly Roberts and Roberts has never been raided. APMEX has never been raided. None of the big bullion houses have ever been raided. Now, they could outlaw private gold ownership again. The other thing is the nice thing about the stellar ecosystem is if you've got a pile of gold in your house, if you've got 20 ounces of gold, you can issue 20 tokens against that gold. And so the nice thing about that is rather than being one big pile of gold, which is a target for legislators, if you have thousands of people who each have a little pile of gold and tokens issued against it, then it's...
Yeah, but how do you validate? I see what you're saying.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, this might work, what he's talking about, except that problem is the validation.
Right.
How
Like,
do I know how do you make that work?
That you have those tokens?
Well, there's a collection of ways that you could do it. The first way is people who know me and believe me to be a man of my word may well trust the token just based on that.
I may trust that you have it right now,
right?
But how do I know you don't get robbed in the next week? Do I? What is your safety protocol?
There's a couple of different parts to trust. There's trusting somebody's intentions and also trusting their judgment.
Well, right. I think you have good intentions, but if you don't have good enough security for your operations, then maybe that's not worth trusting. Like if you're just keeping them stacked on a table, in your living room.
Yeah, this might be a solution for like distributed trust, where you have multiple parties involved, so you reduce your risk for any one of them, but you only allow
and insurance also.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to know. Is can you get Lloyd's of London to insure you against a government confiscation?
Probably not, but what about just other individuals?
There's more coming. Well, sure, I bet you can do that. That's just standard, robbery. 855-450, free like freedom.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. Whether you want to talk about the old banking system and their difficulties of finding untraceable gold in their vaults on accident, or the fact that cryptocurrency doesn't have this problem, where you're not going to run into fake Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. Everything that's on Bitcoin is real Bitcoin because it's cryptographically secure. There's no way that it can be faked. Now, you could copy Bitcoin and make your own cryptocurrency, and there's thousands of cryptocurrencies in the world today. In fact, at the last check I did yesterday, it's over 2,500 cryptocurrencies are listed on CoinMarketCap.com, which doesn't list all of them.
I was gonna say, is that all? It doesn't sound like all of them to me. Aren't there like 10,000 of them or something?
Probably.
Like that? I mean,
there's a certain level that they have to reach before CoinMarketCap will list them, and they list a ton of crap that's not even worth talking about.
Right.
So I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, of things that are just nothing. Very little volume, very little activity.
The reason there's 2,500 of them is probably because they're making money off of it, right? By taking money in order to get listed.
I don't know how they do it
from some of the nobodies, basically.
I presume that's how they do it.
I haven't paid them.
No. That would be whoever's created the crypto.
You don't have a crypto that you want listed on.
Right.
So CoinMarketCap is sort of the most noteworthy website. There's a bunch of sites like it, but they list all, or not all, but a good chunk of the cryptocurrencies out there in the world, and they have what their current trading value of that thing is. You definitely want to be on CoinMarketCap if you've got a cryptocurrency. And it's the first place I usually go to look. Like if somebody's talking about a crypto, I almost always go there first and see, okay, well, what do they have to say about it? What's the current price, and has it been trading anywhere? Does it have any volume? That kind of thing. So we were talking about these sort of so-called fake gold bars. They're real gold, but they have fake stampings on them from manufacturers that didn't actually stamp them. There was some counterfeiter somewhere that stamped them, but they're still real gold. And that is the point that Cointelegraph.com story makes, is that, hey, this is one of the things that you never have to worry about when it comes to, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is, you can't fake out that system because it's decentralized. It's checked thousands of times. Every transaction, the books cannot be cooked with Bitcoin. It's just not. It can't happen. If it could happen, somebody would have done it by now. It's been more than a decade at this point. There's a high incentive to basically crack this system. If somebody could have done it, they could have been rewarded very well.
The thing is, you can run your own full node, so you don't even have to trust anybody else. You can do the checking yourself. You can let your own computer do the checking.
And that's the strength of the system, is that there are over 10,000, as last time I looked, and that was last year, over 10,000 full nodes running the Bitcoin software, and they're all checking each other. So it's not just you checking yourself or whatever. It's if somebody tries to introduce bad information into the Bitcoin blockchain from their full node, they try to corrupt some info or cook the books or whatever. All the other ones are going to look at their books and say, nope, that doesn't belong here, and reject it.
Right.
That's as I understand how that system works.
It's close enough.
Yeah. So there's been this long-standing fight between gold bugs and crypto people. Now I like them both. Which is why I like the idea of a gold-backed crypto.
It's funny. They have different use cases, I think, is what it comes down to. And some people just don't. They can't comprehend. I think a lot of gold people just can't comprehend that there is a need for a non-local currency. They're all more about the end of the world kind of situations.
The preppers.
Right. And so they're so consumed with that they can't recognize the fact that, well, we're not in that situation. And there is a huge value on being able to transfer money, especially cross borders, that is, and having control over it. Because you can't do a wire transfer if the government says you can't do a wire transfer.
That's right.
Right? I mean, and so you end up with this situation where, well, how do you get money across the border? Are you going to try and take more than $10,000 across in a suitcase? Good luck with that.
You cannot do that.
Right. Like...
Somebody's going to end up with that $10,000, and it ain't you.
Yeah, if you're lucky, and you get that money back, it's going to be a couple of years from now. You're going to spend, God knows how much money on a lawyer.
Yeah,
and then it's still not where you wanted it. It's still not in Mexico or whatever, or China or wherever it is that you wanted to move that money to.
And you can move cryptocurrency
without
having to ask anyone's permission. When you cross the border, you're not actually even moving the crypto. The crypto stays on the blockchain, which is the decentralized ledger that exists on the internet in thousands of places at any given time. You just carry your keys across the border, and you can even carry them in your head if you want to.
Right. I want to know, like, what when they always when they're talking about like money laundering and stuff, like, what does it mean when they say to move crypto? Because the crypto doesn't really, I don't know.
It just changes places on a ledger. That's all that happens.
But the crypto, does it really even change place on a ledger? It's really an assignment.
The person who's assigned.
It's an assignment to an address.
Yeah.
But who controls that address? Like, it can change even who controls that address without anything changing on the blockchain.
That's true. Yeah, I could give you my key.
Right. And then so the question is, when they say you can't take more than $10,000 of monetary whatever across the border, well, am I taking more than $10,000 or not? Because I have a key that has control of, but do I actually have the $10,000 worth of value, or do I not?
At no time do you have that. You have just a key. In the same way that if you have a safe deposit box key and you cross the border with a safe deposit box key, that doesn't mean anything to the Border Patrol.
So what happens if I then assign, the control over that crypto, right? Because that's what you do when you send crypto from somebody in this country to somebody in another country. Is it then does that constitute moving of money overseas, or does it not? Or assets overseas, or does it not?
These are good questions.
I mean, and then the question is, well, what if I have control over that address, and then somebody else has, or over that wallet, and then somebody else gains control over that wallet? Is it at what point? What happens if it's in more than one country? That wallet is in, because you can have multiple copies of a private key, a wallet. What happens if it's distributed in 100 countries?
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, this stuff isn't moving across borders at all.
The whole thing is just so insane.
It's a completely new paradigm,
right?
And they cannot. I think you're right. The old money people just can't quite wrap their heads around it.
I can't wrap my head around it from the terms that are being used within the legal system to figure out how I would be, required to comply with the laws, because the laws just don't really make any sense when it comes to cryptocurrencies.
It's true. They're confused. Even the different departments of the federal government don't agree on what to consider it. Is it commodity? Is it money? Is it product? What are the there's like at least 2 or 3 different opinions.
And I think
within the federal government.
I think the answer is it depends, and it depends on what set of laws we're talking about.
I'd say the answer is it's computer time, because basically what you get for Bitcoin is the ability to pay Bitcoin transaction fees. That's the thing that you can do directly with Bitcoin. That's more or less what backs Bitcoin, is the ability to send transactions.
So you're talking about the network of Bitcoin computers is what backs Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And that's what makes it. It's the ability to send a transaction and do it securely, and not have to worry about it not getting to where it's going. Right? Like anybody can send a transaction on an insecure system, but Bitcoin also has a fair amount of security surrounding that transaction too. So there's some value there.
Yeah, the control aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to join the conversation, you can. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're not going to talk about Bitcoin the whole show. Coming up, Chris, you've got a story about a cable company that is. Are they being sued?
They're being sued, right? Essentially for providing high-speed internet access, and the high-speed part is basically the connection to why it's illegal, because apparently somehow providing high-speed internet. Okay, if it was low speed, it wouldn't be a problem, I guess. But because it's high speed, it's therefore only useful for piracy or something to that effect.
Is it higher speed than what we're getting? Or?
We have a gigabit here.
Who knows? The story doesn't actually go into like what those speeds are. It's just the fact that it's higher. It's the advertising of higher speeds. Is what their argument is.
It's a novel argument, I gotta say. I've not heard this one before, so we'll get into it. This is happening in the United States?
It is. This is a United States case of the music cartels teaming up against RCN,
They're awful
which is
people.
It's a brand
Some
that
cable
is
company.
like licensed by different cable companies.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We're going to learn more about that coming up. You can also share your thoughts, take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Plus, a case of lung cancer, death, actually, specifically. I don't know if it's cancer or not. We'll get into what happened, or allegedly what happened. Somebody apparently died due to vaping. We'll tell you about it on the way. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,528, silver at $18.25, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,480. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, leaked emails from scientists working with agrochemical giant Monsanto feature company leaders in 2013 wishing they could, quote, beat the S out of, end quote, advocacy group Moms Across America. The group wrote an open letter asking Monsanto to discontinue the use of the pesticide glyphosate, which some research has tied to cancers, and to stop producing genetically modified seeds that was seen by company executives as a public relations disaster. The emails were released as part of litigation relating to the cancer-causing effects of glyphosate against Monsanto's now parent company, Bayer. The emails, New York Times reporter Eric Lipton said on Twitter, show, quote, how Monsanto worked to try to influence public opinion in alliance with academics who it sometimes helped fund, end quote. In a statement, green advocacy organization, the Environmental Working Group's president, Ken Cook, said the emails revealed, quote, the utter contempt that Monsanto has for public health and for consumers, including mothers who only want to protect their kids' health, end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. In a long-awaited report released Thursday morning, the Department of Justice's Inspector General revealed that former FBI Director James Comey's handling of the memos he took from meetings with President Trump before he was unceremoniously fired in early 2017 violated department policy and the law when he shared them with a longtime confidant, who then leaked their contents to the press. According to the Mind Unleashed, the IG's office had referred Comey for potential prosecution earlier this summer, based on his handling of the memos. CNN reports the Department of Justice declined to bring a case, in part because prosecutors did not believe there was evidence to show Comey knew and intended to violate laws pertaining to the handling of classified information. However, Attorney General William Barr has declined to press charges against Comey for the handling of the memos. A Pennsylvania priest was arrested for stealing nearly $100,000 from his church and using the money to party with men that he met on the hookup and dating app Grindr. 58-year-old Monsignor Joseph McClune is accused of stealing more than $98,400 from St. Joseph Catholic Church in Downingtown and using the funds for personal expenses. McClune was being investigated by both the church and the police for at least a year before his arrest. The investigation revealed that McClune opened a secret checking account in 2011, just 1 year after he joined the church. McClune was brought in that year to replace Father William Lynn, a disgraced priest who was indicted and arrested for covering up abuse among the clergy. Investigators say McClune diverted parishioner donations into that account and spent the next 7 years using that money to supplement his income. It's also alleged he spent over $3,000 of the church's money to pay off personal credit card bills. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. Hager physicists have created quantum slacks. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The stunning announcement that a team of Hager physicists has successfully developed quantum slacks was made this morning at a press conference in Philadelphia. According to Dr. Daniel Chang, head of the Hager team, conventional notions about the physical properties and possibilities of slacks have been turned on their heads.
We are on the verge of unzipping the secrets of creation and peering into the pants of God himself. It appears the very fabric of the universe may well be a smart cotton twill weave.
However, Chang urged caution in further research after tests conducted last month at the Hager-Pants Propulsion Collider Laboratory in Dallas suggested the possible existence of so-called anti-pants, which could, in theory, initiate a chain reaction resulting in no pants at all. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, looks like the first supposed death from vaping has been reported in Illinois. We can get into that on the way. But we've also got, of course, your calls and thoughts. You're welcome to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
Nobody.
And Chris.
Chris, you wanted to share with us a story about a cable company that is being sued by the Recording Industry Association.
Wow, it's hard to imagine a conflict where I would side with a cable company, but that's
there
it.
it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's the Recording Association of America, but it is a bunch of the music cartels, basically.
Yeah,
so
like BMI or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that specific that particular
There's only
one,
a few of them.
There's not that many, right? I don't want to go into that part of the story. I don't think that's that particularly interesting. But there's a lot of back and forth between the copyright industry. Let's just put it that way. And regardless of whether we're talking about entertainment or books or whatever.
So these are this is I'm looking at RCN's website, having not heard of them previously. It looks like they're just major markets: Boston, Chicago, DC, Lehigh Valley, New York, and Philly. So
apparently, I didn't know this, and I don't think it actually says it in this particular story, but apparently it's a brand, and then different ISPs license that brand name.
Really?
So yeah, that's what I read. I don't know anything more other than that's what I read recently. So
okay, it just looks like a cable company from their website. But go ahead.
Right. And this story specifically does not say that. They simply say RCN, the ISP, or something to that effect. But apparently, I guess it's actually multiple companies. But anyway, defendants operated RCN as a haven for infringement. Defendants promoted RCN's high-speed internet.
This is an excerpt from the lawsuit.
Yep.
Okay.
Defendants promoted RCN's high internet speeds, not high-speed internet. They're saying high internet speeds to customers, knowing that the ability to download copyrighted material illegally using high-speed internet without repercussions was a substantial draw for infringers.
Wow. Well, imagine that on the hand of... Imagine somebody writing a haiku and then saying... Well, you can't know anything, because if you know things, you might know the content of my poem, and therefore you're forbidden from knowing anything.
So
this is so crazy because, high-speed internet has existed as long as I've been an adult. I remember it existing in the 1990s where I grew up.
Right, and they're just now bringing this argument up. And now, of all times, it's like you realize that the high speed that you're getting from your cable company is also needed to stream the same content legally, right?
That's right. Yeah, if you want to watch on Netflix, you need to have a high-speed internet access.
Right. It's just their argument is just so like, what are they thinking? Like anybody with half a brain is gonna recognize that this is the most ridiculous argument.
Well, maybe they bought themselves a nice politician, and they can, maybe the fix is in for them. We'll see.
Could be.
The crazy thing about this also is that it's not like they're the only company that's providing high-speed internet access, right? Like,
sure.
And all the other companies that are providing high-speed internet have basically the same, types of policies in regards to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in terms of taking content down. And it's never been interpreted, as you have to disconnect users of your internet service unless it's in relation to hosting content, because the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is explicitly effectively it says something to the effect of you have to take the content down if a notice is received, and then the other party can post a counter notice to you. But the problem is the ISP is never hosting any of that material.
Yeah, that only applies to hosting service.
It's right. It's the user that is hosting the content in the case of an ISP.
But the internet service providers will do the bidding of the recording industry in a lot of cases, where if, let's say, you're downloading a torrent, or you're downloading, if you've got a torrent going, that means you might be pulling down some files that may not be might not be legal, as far as it could be a movie that the recording industry has licenses or whatever, or copyrights on. This is one of the common things that people do with torrents, and so torrents aren't a private method of downloading but unless you're behind a VPN, you can clearly see a list of all of the IP addresses that are downloading a particular torrent. And so there's certain torrents out there that are actually monitored, where if you go and you download the latest episode of, I don't know, what's a hot TV show right now, Westworld or something like that. You download
Rick and Morty.
You download the latest episode of Rick and Morty, and the copyright owner, whoever that is, Cartoon Network or whoever, they're actually watching. And every time a new IP address pops into that torrent, they log that. They find out which internet service provider has that IP address in their range, and if they're within the United States, they then send a notice to that internet service provider. Then internet service provider then turns around and sends a notice to the customer associated with that IP address saying, well, we just found out that somebody at your account, they don't know who it was. It could have been your son. It could have been your grandmother. It could have been,
because they don't.
Could have been somebody sitting outside your house in a car on your Wi-Fi.
Right. They're not the ones in control of the server.
Right.
They cannot take it down.
But they send a notice to you and they say, you must stop this offending behavior immediately, or else we may, we reserve the right to terminate your account.
This is something that I think is being done voluntarily voluntarily, I'll put in quotes, but voluntarily by the ISPs, because there's nothing in the DMCA that says they have to forward notices. Right.
It's not required.
And not all ISPs do that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
In the case of Time Warner, also, there's they operate cable modems, but they also produce a lot of content.
They do. I mean, there's a conflict of interest in some respects.
Well, not necessarily a conflict, but
between them and their
they definitely have multiple
between them and their customers. I think there's a conflict of interest, not between their different services that they offer.
Well, let's clarify something. Time Warner doesn't offer internet service provider anymore. They sold that division. That exists under Spectrum Communications now. So Time Warner
they didn't just rename it?
No, Spectrum is a division of Charter, which is also a cable system, but I don't think I don't know if Charter owns any
Charter is still an ISP.
Stations. Well, Charter's also a cable company. So they're a cable company.
Right. So they provide television services, traditional television cable services,
but they're not Warner Brothers, so they're not producing any of the movies that are being downloaded
or
over
the channels.
System.
Right. I think there's more of an issue in some countries with certain cable internet providers than there are in the U.S. as far as content production and providing internet access.
Yeah, I don't know, but my point was with this RCN. Maybe the recording industry is mad at them because they don't. I'm just speculating here. You haven't read the whole however many page lawsuit this is. You're just reading an excerpt.
I'm just reading an excerpt at the moment. Yeah.
So the way they, what I got from what the little bit that you've read so far is they're mad at RCN. They're suggesting that RCN doesn't help them with enforcement of this. If you read that paragraph again that you started with, it sort of suggests that they're marketing their high-speed services knowing basically they won't do anything about any violations that happen over the high-speed services.
Well, I didn't get that. I just got knowing that it would be used to download things, which of course everybody who sells somebody download bandwidth knows.
It said that, but there was also another line.
Yeah, there is some truth to that in regards to what you're saying.
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah. I'll read the whole thing from the beginning. Defendants operated RCN as a haven for infringement. Defendants promoted RCN's high internet speeds. Again, high internet speeds to customers, knowing that the ability to download copyrighted material illegally using high-speed internet without repercussions was a substantial draw for infringers.
Okay, without repercussions is interesting, although I mean, certainly the ISP, unless they're doing something to shield these people's identities, can't prevent these people from suffering repercussions.
I mean, the problem
is
still
be sued.
There's no obligation for the ISP to do anything.
You can't sue the end user because you can't identify them. You could sue the account holder.
You can get a subpoena to reveal the owner of the internet connection.
But that's not necessarily the violator, right?
It's not. But the ISP wouldn't know that either.
That's true. So there's more on the way. We can talk more about this lawsuit, and you can share your thoughts with us on Free Talk Live.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
You're not a wild animal, and you shouldn't be tagged and tracked like one. Where you go and what you do every minute of the day, tracked and recorded by your mobile phone, is often more revealing than your browser history. And tech companies make a fortune selling your location history without your consent. GoDark bags prevent location tracking and protect your privacy by instantly blocking all cell phone, GPS, and Wi-Fi signals to your mobile device. Plus, they're durable, water-resistant, and built for a lifetime of protection. Visit GoDarkbags.com/FTL. That's GoDarkbags.com/FTL.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got more on this lawsuit against RCN, which is a cable company internet service provider being sued by multiple record labels, including Universal Music Group, Capitol Records, Sony Music, and others. They say, and so my speculation I think was right here. I looked at a summary of the case that RCN was given more than 5 million notices that its users were downloading illegally and did nothing to stop it. That's what the complaint, the basic summary of this case
They did nothing to disconnect users.
Right.
Is the argument, I believe.
Yeah, and maybe they didn't even threaten them either, but we can get deeper into the story here in a few moments. I also want to make sure you know about Edge Wallet. It is my favorite wallet, and I think a lot of the folks here in the Keene area that are active in the crypto world are using Edge. It's certainly the one that business owners are using to receive cryptocurrencies as well here. It's because Edge is a great wallet, and they've got support for dozens of various different cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, BTC. They've got Ethereum and some Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Stellar, Bitcoin Cash, Ravencoin now, and others. Go to edge.app to learn more. That's their website. Secure your freedom. Buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your favorite cryptocurrencies. And they've got it for iOS and Android phones and platforms. So head over to edge.app or just download Edge Wallet in your favorite Google or Apple Play Store. It's Ian, Nobody, and Chris in the studio tonight. We're actually going to go to your phone calls and thoughts here. We're going to Discord, where a gentleman is on the line. Isaac is calling himself Ask Yourself in our Discord server. Isaac, I was actually told you'd be calling in by a longtime listener of ours, Wes. He says that you're a vegan and you wanted to talk about that sort of thing. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's a kind of funny circumstance, I guess. So Wes is like a mutual viewer or whatever. He's a patron of mine, and he asked me to call in and speak to you guys about animal rights. So I can't say I'm super familiar with your show or your perspectives, but yeah, I guess I can just go ahead. So presumably none of you are vegan, right?
I don't think so. No.
I'm on the Atkins diet. I'm pretty much exclusively carnivorous.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you a question then. So presumably, if we were to fill the slaughterhouses with humans instead of animals, you would all say that that's morally wrong. We ought not do that.
Well, are you telling which particular humans? Because there's some like politicians that I might.
Yeah, I mean, if
I might not be against.
Well,
I wouldn't have any I mean, I wouldn't eat a politician. That would be disgusting.
Well, no, of course.
Well, they say you are what you eat,
but
right?
the slaughterhouse part of it's okay, right? I think we can. Especially if it's
I wouldn't shed a tear if
certainly it's in self-defense here, right? So I think it's
if there was a line of politicians that were being forced into a slaughterhouse, I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Nope.
Okay, now I still don't think it's ethical to Holocaust politicians, but we can disagree on that. Let's just say that we're still.
Well, the thing is, they're Holocausting us.
Yeah, it's just self-defense.
The point. But yeah, let's move on to the animal part.
Well, yeah, let's just say that they're filled. The slaughterhouses are filled with innocent people. Okay, if you don't think politicians are innocent, then they're filled with people who aren't politicians.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would support that.
Okay, all right, great. But then on the other hand, apparently with animals in the slaughterhouse, it is okay to support that.
Yeah, it's okay because animals don't have the same rights as human beings, and I'm sure you're going to disagree about that. But one of the reasons why human rights is a good idea is because it's one that we can communicate about, and we can agree on them, and we can say, yes, we agree with whatever rights it is that we're talking about. Now, not everybody agrees on what rights are and what things should be considered rights, but when you have people that agree on rights, it generally makes life a better and more enjoyable and more productive time. Whereas with animals, they unfortunately, at least at this point, they don't have a way. Most of them, I mean, with the exception of maybe dolphins and chimpanzees or whatever, they don't have a particularly
neither of
effective
which
way.
I would probably be comfortable eating.
Right, and they don't have most animals don't have an effective way of communicating, and so therefore there's no way that we can come to an agreement with them about rights. So generally, the idea that I'm behind here is that the animal cannot respect your rights. It doesn't know about them.
Okay, so is it okay to eat like a 1-year-old or 6-month-old because they can't?
No, I would say it's not okay because that's a human being.
Yeah, I mean, generally, the thing with humans is we have this social agreement that if you don't violate my rights, I won't violate yours.
Right.
Which is, how we manage to live together in large numbers. I've never successfully negotiated such a contract with, say, a lion.
Or any animal, right?
Oh yeah, or a deer or anything else.
And any animals you might have are probably obedient to you, right?
I mean, if they keep violating my rights, I'm going to either put them out or eat them.
Now, if I were to ask the question, what exactly is it that's true of animals that, if true of humans, would justify murdering them? Presumably, the response to that is the ability to participate in a social contract?
Well, specifically, the ability to convince me that they're not going to violate my rights.
Okay, so if we have a human who can't convince you that they're not going to violate your rights, it's fine to murder them?
Well, that's what self-defense is.
Well, no, not
in
necessarily.
the case of self-defense, they've actually made it clear that they're not going to violate my rights, which is exactly.
You mean that they are going to violate?
I'm sorry. When in a self-defense case, somebody's made it clear to me that they're not going to respect my rights, and it's at that point that I have the right to use deadly force against them.
Okay, now I'm not sure this is a disanalogy, so I guess the next question would be, do you think that a cow is planning to infringe on your rights?
Well, a thing is, looking at it from the other side, I had this argument with an ethics professor at the U of M one time in Denny's, and I was asking him about the fact that animals, a lot of animals live by eating other animals. So what I was asking him basically is, well, if I run into a lion that eats meat, is it okay for me to execute that lion for murder? And
then eat the lion, right?
And then presumably eat the lion. And he said, well, lion isn't a moral agent. And I said, well, maybe that's the thing that makes me comfortable eating a lion, but not comfortable eating a man. A man is a moral agent. He's got that additional, the ability to abstractly reason about morality and to be concerned about morality.
Isaac, stand by if you've got time. We can continue the discussion here.
Sure.
He's on our Discord server there. You can join us on Discord as well over at discord.lrn.fm. And you can also join us on the phones as well at 855-450. Free like freedom. Maybe you want to talk about the idea of animal rights. Is that even a thing? There's more coming up here. What are your thoughts? It is Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio, it's Ian here.
Nobody.
And Chris.
And of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever you want. We've got a gentleman on the line who wants to talk about, or is talking about, animal rights, or the purported concept of animal rights. I don't know how many of those of us in the studio actually believe that animals have rights. I'm guessing none of us do, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I don't believe that they necessarily have rights, but I won't say that there's no set of circumstances under which I wouldn't do violence on behalf of an animal.
You mean to protect the animal?
Exactly. Now, of course, if it's my animal, that can be justified by defense of property. But, if somebody were, for example, just torturing a dog, randomly for no apparent reason.
Right out in their front lawn.
Now,
what if it was their own property?
This is a place where I might be where I might actually violate my own moral code and say, well, I shouldn't punch you in the face, but I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe I'll pay you damages someday.
Well,
but
here we're talking about something that is not, inappropriate, and that is the idea that society has certain expectations and individuals and human beings have certain expectations of behavior and what it is that we're willing to tolerate and what we're not. And we're not. I don't think most people would be willing to tolerate somebody, beating their animal in their front yard, even if it's their supposed animal. In the same way that,
but in
we
the absence of animal rights, that would be completely. It would be immoral. It would be like,
what would be immoral?
To refuse to tolerate somebody. Abusing an animal in their front.
It would be immoral to refuse to tolerate that? I don't agree.
Well,
let me ask
unless the animal had some kind of rights, because generally you can use violence. And to me, if you're not tolerating somebody, then basically you're violently opposed to them being where they are. So they're at risk. The tolerance is just leaving people alone. Acceptance is another matter.
Mm-hmm. Let me bring Isaac back in here.
Yeah, let's get Isaac back in.
Isaac's on the line in Ontario. Go ahead.
Okay, well, there's a few things. So firstly, the no rights position is a kind of like particularly crazy position, because on that view, there's no problem with doing like absolutely anything.
No,
to animals.
so there's hold on a second.
Could I complete?
Hold on, let me just one thing. There's a difference between morals and rights, right? Rights are something that are legally prescribed. Morals
not legally prescribed. No, rights are.
Well, how do rights come about? Because I would think of rights as being a legal thing, not anything.
Yeah, let's
I'm
start
not
this.
necessarily talking about legal rights. I'm talking about you respecting some kind of notion of a right for that animal. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, rights aren't legal. Rights.
Okay, so
are
we're talking
agreement.
about moral rights.
Yeah, rights are an agreement.
That's going to be different from one person to the next.
I have a few things to a few points.
Okay.
So the first is just the no rights position is the position where there's apparently no problem with just like stabbing a dog in the eye. So what I would assume is you guys take a minimal rights position where they have rights that allow that not to happen, but that allow.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You don't need to assume because. Well, hold on. You don't need to assume because we're right here. Okay, we've got plenty of time, dude. So.
I hit your first point.
Yeah, well, hold on. You don't need to assume anything about what we're believing here because we can actually talk about it, right?
Yeah, we can clarify
anything.
anything.
That I asked was just if you have an animal and you have a human, holocausting the one is okay, holocausting the other is wrong. What
that's you're giving us a false choice. Okay, so I'm just gonna put you on hold for just a moment here so we can talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you don't believe that an animal has rights in the same way that humans have rights doesn't mean that you can't respect that animal and treat it well, and that you can't ostracize people who treat their animals poorly. You're right there, man. Go ahead.
Well, that's true, but can you?
Original point. So sorry, you guys are just you have a tendency to just go off on crazy tangents. So let's just try.
Well, no, we're talking about what you mentioned, and go ahead.
Okay, right. So the first thing I asked was just we have an animal, we have a human. It's wrong to Holocaust one. It's okay to Holocaust the other. I asked what accounts for that. It sounded like
Holocaust. What do you mean by Holocaust?
It sounded like you were saying social contract. Now,
we wouldn't say that. So again, you're jumping to conclusions. What do you mean when you say Holocaust?
No, 1 second. Wait. So now I asked, is it social contract? Now you said it's not necessarily the social contract. It's something to do with the ability to convince me that they're not going to infringe on my rights. Now, there's a problem that could be pointed out with that, where there's humans who can't convince you they're not going to infringe on your rights. You're just convinced by other humans or by the general circumstance. Now, the question I asked as a follow-up to that, which I didn't really hear a good reply to, right, is are you, for some reason, convinced that a cow is going to infringe on your rights? Because I think it's less likely a cow would infringe on your rights than any other human. So it seems like that position is just going to grant animals rights.
Huh?
Well, I can repeat it again.
Okay, so I mean, I think one thing to say is that you're referring to comments that nobody made, not the other.
Nobody's
two of us
one of our hosts on the show,
right? So,
well,
I don't necessarily
replying to is where you said it's about their ability to convince you that they're not going to infringe on your rights. I think that's almost for.
Yeah, that was me, and where I was going with that is not so much I fear cows, therefore I eat cows.
Right. That's
it was a cow is not a moral agent.
Okay, but now if you're going to change over to something about moral agency, then can we acknowledge that the first answer to the question you're now backing off of? It's not the case that the answer to the question, why is it okay to Holocaust the one but not the other, is about their ability to convince you they're not going to infringe on your rights. You're just dropping that answer. That's not your answer anymore. Now you want to give a new answer about moral agency?
Yeah, if that was your interpretation of what I said, the two are intrinsically connected in my mind. But yeah, go ahead and I will I will not die on that hill.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, look, I mean, I don't think it's a straw man of your position. Like, the other thing is, I've been told once or twice that I'm jumping to conclusions when I'm just recapping the history of the conversation.
Well, yeah, but you're recapping it. You're recapping it from your understanding, and maybe we've not done a good job of explaining our side of things.
I think he's recapping it from his perspective.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, certainly.
Right, and so we're trying to correct when you bring up your misunderstanding of what we've been saying. We're trying to correct that, and you just want to keep going back to your misunderstanding of it. It was just one point. The idea that hold that thought there, Isaac. We can come back to you here, but it was just one point that animals don't have rights because they can't respect your rights. This is a general statement. That doesn't mean that cows are a threat at all.
To me, that's the same as saying they lack moral.
And then I heard.
Hold on, you just asked a question, and then you don't give us time to answer it. You said why Holocaust one and not the other. Can you describe what you mean by Holocaust?
Okay, we have to go point by point. So first of all,
okay, I've asked you a question. You've asked us a bunch of questions. I'm asking you a question back.
I still haven't got an answer to my question. I'm trying to get rid of your weird.
You won't stop talking in order for us to ask you a question.
You have to actually listen properly. Okay, so just let's be systematic. Okay.
Well, in order to listen properly, see, I know a thing or two about listening. You have to be able to restate back what the person said accurately. I've been trying to tell you, every time I turn him back up, he's still talking. I've been trying to tell you that you have not understood what it is that we've been saying.
I said, what is it about the animals, right? We have animals, we have humans. It's okay to Holocaust one. It's not okay to Holocaust.
You keep saying that, and I've asked you now, I think 2 or 3 times, when you say Holocaust, what do you mean?
It as being something along the lines of the social contract.
He just keeps talking. I can't even get. I mean, how many times have I asked him?
I don't know if he's even aware that we've been talking,
I don't think,
or that he's been turned down.
Yeah, I just keep turning him down because it would just be constant crosstalk. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you can't stop for just a moment and listen, because, it's great for you to ask us questions, but we get to ask you questions back. That's, part of a conversation. If you can't have it, that's okay. We'll make room for other people. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNLife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNLife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame he owed money to the IRS and they finally caught up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 800-590-4930. 800-590-4930. 800-590-4930. That's 800-590-4930.
Free Talk Live.
Most people, when it comes to what the government demands about their property, the zoning board or whatever department we're dealing with here that claims to have dominion over what you believe to be your property, most people will just go along to get along because they understand that something nasty will happen if they don't. They understand that if they don't do what the people calling themselves government demand that they do, that eventually men with guns are going to come to their house, possibly just take it from them. And I think everybody inherently knows that there's a threat of violence behind what the government does. Oh, I know. You like to tell yourself stories about how it's the price of civilization to pay taxes. The price of civilization is zoning. It's the price of civilization to obey orders.
Well, don't forget the pig farm excuse.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you didn't have zoning, somebody would open a pig farm right next door to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And the gentleman who was on the line is still in our Discord chat room claiming that if we only would have let him communicate. Well, look, we had you on for 2 segments of the show, dude. The typical, guest on the show, or typical caller doesn't get 2 segments to the program. Obviously, we wanted to have the conversation about animal rights. That's why we held on to you. But a conversation requires 2 sides listening, or at least attempting to listen to one another. And, you got to ask some questions initially. And then we wanted to ask questions to clarify. Like one of the questions you didn't even get to, nobody, was to ask our caller what he thought rights were. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, because until you have a definition of rights, it's and an idea of what their source is, then it's kind of difficult to have conversation on the topic. And there's at least two ideas of the source of human rights. One school of thought would say that our rights are derived from God. We're all created with God, and He endows us with rights. Other people would say that that there are natural rights, that these things exist in it. That rights exist in nature. I think Melanie would be of that school, and are almost axiomatic. And I, on the other hand, would say that rights are more a social convention
I would agree.
than anything else. Because the thing is, the NAP is...
That's the non-aggression principle.
Yeah, the non-aggression principle. I think it's a great principle to live by. But it's not inscribed on a mountain anywhere. Which means that, for one thing, we can't look back up at the mountain and look carefully at the wording of it when we're unsure about what it implies.
Is that what we have to do in order to get people, the 75% of the population to agree with us? We have to write it on the side of a mountain?
Well, the thing is, in writing it on the side of a mountain, it becomes legislation, so it's almost self-defeating if you want to be a purist.
But isn't it only legislation to the extent that people actually abide by it? I mean, from a principled libertarian perspective.
Well, the drug war is certainly legislation, and people don't abide by that. They break those laws all the time.
That's true, but there's also violence then that results. I don't necessarily know that writing it on the side of a mountain would result in violence.
Well, I mean, somebody might get mad about the mountain. I wouldn't be surprised if you had
maybe.
But the point is that, to me, the NAP is a social convention, and I think it's a good one. It's one that I strive to spread acceptance for. It's the only acceptable one to me that I've found. But then the question becomes less, what does it say? Then how should this thing be defined? Okay, so it becomes not a factual question, but a normative question.
One of the problems I have with everybody like adding essentially to rights, or what rights either animals have, or creating special groups of people to protect, is that ultimately at the end of the day it justifies violence. I know it sounds absolutely insane, but really what's going to happen if you give animals rights is that you're going to then start using violence against people who don't agree with you. So, and the question is, at what level? I might not agree that eating animals...
How many people are you willing to hurt in order to protect the
I
animals?
might not agree that eating animals is a good thing. Like, I think that's a bad thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I would support a right or animal rights in the sense that we should outlaw eating animals, because ultimately that it's worse to kill it. I still feel like it's worse to kill a human than it is to kill an animal, right? So
I tend to agree with you on that. But that's, I bet, what the animal
rights defenders
would disagree.
It depends on the human for me.
Yeah.
On which human? Like the politicians, no big deal.
Right. We'll carve out a little exception for them.
So the toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Let's bring Vernon on the line. Of course, you can bring up whatever you want. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about 9/11. Just kidding.
Oh, God. All right.
So I heard a story, actually, on a Louisiana radio station today. This lady had this license plate. It says "Pee before we go," and it's a New Hampshire license plate.
Yeah.
She's had it for 15 years. And in the state of New Hampshire sent her a letter saying this is not a it includes sexual or excitatory acts or functions, and so she had to either surrender the plate or choose a new one. But I believe what happened is that the governor actually intervened and said that she didn't have to do that. So
nice.
I just thought that was very interesting. They made national news, apparently.
It did. It was.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
It was all over the news this week. What was the plate? Do you recall what it was? Something like "Pee before you go."
Yeah, pee before we go.
Yeah, so like something you'd say to your kids before you go on a trip.
It's certainly involving bodily fluids, but I'm not quite sure that that's generally considered a sexual reference.
Well, what I don't understand is why can't we talk about that? It's something all humans do.
That's right.
Why are we ashamed of it?
Yeah.
Why are we afraid
Totally
to
agree
talk
with you.
about it? And is it a sign that we've kind of failed to come to grips with the fact that we are animals?
Well, one of the takeaways I had from this story was the interventionist way of the government of the state of New Hampshire that is touted so greatly on this radio show. And I
Whoa.
Hold it.
After
What?
15 years.
Did you guys hear that? What you just said?
What's touted on this radio show?
The New Hampshire government.
Is the state of, right? Well, the state of New Hampshire is supposedly one of the freest states in the nation, right?
But you're talking about the government,
well,
right?
That's not saying that the government's good. It's saying that we're fighting it effectively. That's not the same
just
thing.
comparing, when you say the state of New Hampshire is the freest of all of the 50 states, you're just comparing cancers, and you're saying the government of the state of New Hampshire is less cancerous than the government of all the other states. So yeah, they're still violating people's rights here. They're still putting innocent, peaceful people behind bars. They're still a state.
Right, but I'm not. I guess I'm not. I don't know. It was a little bit of an extreme story. But anyways, I just thought it was a funny story, and I thought I'd share that with you all. Thank you all.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah,
for
it was a funny story.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
One of the funniest parts was I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I read a quote from the woman who was obviously grateful that she's going to be allowed to keep the license plate that apparently she's had for some amount of time. Like it wasn't
about 15
years. So that now she gets to keep it. And she'd made some statement about how if the license plate were pulled, she would not be living free. Because again, New Hampshire's got this live free or die.
But having the license plate period is also not living free.
That was my point. Yeah, you're arguing over your state required mandated plate that if you don't have on your car, a man with a gun is going to likely threaten you with violence if you don't pull over to the side of the road and do what he says. So, the fact that you got that plate to say what you wanted it to say, okay, well, that's good, but you're not free. Right. That is not the indicator, but for her it was. For her that was her mark of when the state crosses that line, then she's not free. But all the other taxes and regulations, that's totally fine.
I would love to see somebody propose a mandatory name tag law at the state level, just to
for the human body and name tag?
To make a point of these license plates are ridiculous. We should get rid of them.
Well, the license plates are all about control. It's all about.
But the arguments for license plates are ridiculous. But if you then compare it to a law for a name tag law, you would see how ridiculous it really is, right? Because the arguments effectively.
I think they might pass it.
Don't give them any ideas.
Probably, I could see that. You're probably right. I mean, there's probably going to be people who take you seriously. But I mean, seriously, like if you look at it, a name tag effectively would allow cops to know who they're dealing with. Theoretically, at least to the extent that they know who they're dealing with when it comes to driving a car and a license plate. So same argument. And it just sounds ridiculous when you talk about name tags.
Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. You can join us here. Hour number 3 is on the way. We got a bunch of people jumping into the Discord chat room. I think that this interview, or this whatever you want to call it, this argument that we had in the last hour, has stirred some internet community up somewhere. We'll continue, and of course, open phones as always here on Free Talk Live.
Anarchadelphia is a conference dedicated to the principles of liberty, individual sovereignty, and freedom from coercion, located in Philadelphia, the cradle of liberty. Anarchadelphia seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,528, silver at $18.25, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,480. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, leaked emails from scientists working with agrochemical giant Monsanto feature company leaders in 2013 wishing they could, quote, beat the S out of, end quote, advocacy group Moms Across America. The group wrote an open letter asking Monsanto to discontinue the use of the pesticide glyphosate, which some research has tied to cancers, and to stop producing genetically modified seeds that was seen by company executives as a public relations disaster. The emails were released as part of litigation relating to the cancer-causing effects of glyphosate against Monsanto's now parent company, Bayer. The emails, New York Times reporter Eric Lipton said on Twitter, show, quote, how Monsanto worked to try to influence public opinion in alliance with academics who it sometimes helped fund, end quote. In a statement, Green advocacy organization, the Environmental Working Group's president, Ken Cook, said the emails revealed, quote, the utter contempt that Monsanto has for public health and for consumers, including mothers who only want to protect their kids' health, end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. In a long-awaited report released Thursday morning, the Department of Justice's Inspector General revealed that former FBI Director James Comey's handling of the memos he took from meetings with President Trump before he was unceremoniously fired in early 2017 violated department policy and the law when he shared them with a longtime confidant, who then leaked their contents to the press. According to the Mind Unleashed, the IG's office had referred Comey for potential prosecution earlier this summer, based on his handling of the memos. CNN reports the Department of Justice declined to bring a case, in part because prosecutors did not believe there was evidence to show Comey knew and intended to violate laws pertaining to the handling of classified information. However, Attorney General William Barr has declined to press charges against Comey for the handling of the memos. A Pennsylvania priest was arrested for stealing nearly $100,000 from his church and using the money to party with men that he met on the hookup and dating app Grindr. 58-year-old Monsignor Joseph McClune is accused of stealing more than $98,400 from St. Joseph Catholic Church in Downingtown and using the funds for personal expenses. McClune was being investigated by both the church and the police for at least a year before his arrest. The investigation revealed that McClune opened a secret checking account in 2011, just 1 year after he joined the church. McClune was brought in that year to replace Father William Lynn, a disgraced priest who was indicted and arrested for covering up abuse among the clergy. Investigators say McClune diverted parishioner donations into that account and spent the next 7 years using that money to supplement his income. It's also alleged he spent over $3,000 of the church's money to pay off personal credit card bills. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Right now, it's looking like tonight's record $500 million Powerball drawing could be cancelled, as embarrassed lottery officials have admitted they lost the balls. Douglas Bronstein, deputy director of the Multi-State Lottery Association, addressed the press moments ago. We have a quote. "We know how important the balls are to a successful drawing. I saw them the other day, and I'm sure they'll turn up somewhere." Bronstein says it's usually marketing director Ben Callahan's job to keep an eye on the balls, but when reached for comment, Callahan said he just sits next to the balls. It's not his job to know where they are every second of every day. According to Bronstein, it's crucial they find the balls before tonight's drawing. Quote, "We'd love to use different balls, but these ones have the numbers on them." Bronstein added that once they figure out where the balls are, they promise to keep them in some sort of case instead of just lying around the office. When we return, we'll meet some of the undeterred Powerball superfans who are camping out before the big drawing dressed as their favorite numbers.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yep, we're back with more Free Talk Live here as we launch into the third hour of the program. It's open phones, as it always is. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. And normally the Discord quality is actually very good, but right now I'm actually getting a notice from Discord here saying that the quality is not as good right now. So we're going to try the Discord lines.
Is that system-wide, or are we having unusually high load?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's a bunch of people that have joined the server over the last 30 minutes. There was a gentleman who called in the last hour for listeners just tuning in, a guy named Isaac, a.k.a. Ask Yourself. I guess he's got a YouTube channel. One of his fans is also a listener of ours, and he kind of suggested that the guy should call in to talk about veganism, or in his case, animal rights. And it became a difficult conversation to have. We tried to have him on for more than one segment, and in the second segment, we tried to ask him a couple of questions, and he just wasn't, even stop. He wouldn't even stop talking long enough to listen to the question we were trying to ask. I was trying to ask him. He said he kept throwing around the word Holocaust in reference to animals being slaughtered and eaten. And I presume that's what he was referring to, but I wanted him to define what he meant by Holocaust. You wanted him to talk about his definition of rights. And the reason why it's important to ask these questions is because if you don't have a similar basis of definition on which to have a conversation, you can't have a meaningful conversation because you're talking past one another.
Exactly. So, and, all of these words that we use are symbols. And if I don't know what a symbol means to you,
right?
If we don't agree on the meaning, then we literally don't know what we're talking about.
That's correct. You might as well be speaking a foreign language at that point because you have no idea.
It's more like bashing using emotions than actually having a real debate based on rational reasoning.
Well, that's I always object to that in the abortion debate where people like to use murder as, well, do you think it's okay to murder babies when this? And the thing is, murder is a legal term. It's not a moral term. And legal is defined, and murder is defined as unlawful killing.
What is a better?
So it's inappropriate to use the word murder in a discussion about whether or not a particular type of killing is appropriate.
What would be a better
because
word?
It's begging the question.
What's a better word than murder?
Kill.
Okay,
It's
just use the
more.
word
It's
kill.
unambiguous. It's neutral emotionally, and it doesn't beg the question.
So people can.
Oh, sorry, I didn't introduce our next caller here yet. Sorry, NK is on the line. You started talking.
Funny. I'm like over here.
I had you turned on and I didn't realize it. NK is calling us from California, and go ahead. You're on Free Talk Live.
Cool, awesome. What's up, guys? First of all,
We're on the radio, by the way, so please don't say a certain few words and force us to have to hit a dump button on you. Okay, just so you know, this is a radio broadcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a Twitch live streamer. I understand how this goes.
Right on.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, it seems like you have some contention with vegans potentially.
No, absolutely not.
We know vegans. We have friends that are
the guy
vegan.
who invited the gentleman Isaac on the show is one of my tenants. I mean, he lives here, so we get along fine.
Nice.
All of us are friends with him.
I've eaten at the vegan restaurant in town. Like I don't have a problem with.
A couple times a week we go out with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, there's some great.
Right. The
foods
only
out there.
problem that we had with the call in the last hour was that he just kept talking and wouldn't stop to answer a question. We answered some of his questions, but he wouldn't answer one of ours. So go ahead with your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. I'm not necessarily going to comment on the Ask Yourself situation.
Yeah, most of our listeners
person.
that are just tuning in didn't even hear it. So go ahead with whatever you had to say.
Yeah, no, I know Ask Yourself. I've been in his server since like day one, so I know the crowd. Anyways, I wanted to see your guys' view on with respect to like definitions. Do you think that definitions are just things that individuals hold and they have to agree on the definitions together in order for it to be correct? Or is there some other position that you take on definitions?
I don't think that definitions are necessarily right or wrong, but the thing is, when you're having a philosophical discussion, you almost have to define terms at the beginning of it so you can understand, so that you can communicate.
Well, whether or not the two parties,
if the situation requires clarity, though.
Well,
right?
but whether or not the parties agree is immaterial.
If you say Holocaust and you like twitch a little bit, and nobody, like, not everyone seems to be on the same terms. If like, so what? AY did not define Holocaust.
I tried to ask him over and over again to define what he meant by Holocaust. And look, I don't have to agree. Just to clarify something, hold on, nobody. I look. I just want to know what your definition is. Well, not you necessarily, NK, but whoever it is we're talking about. I don't have to agree with the definition, but if I can at least understand what your definition is, then we can have some level of communication.
The other thing is we might.
Right? Did you get the sense that he wouldn't provide it?
I think it might be more.
He didn't provide
more
it.
interesting to discuss the issue at hand than to dissect the previous discussion of the issue.
Yeah, fair enough.
At hand. So,
sure.
Why don't you give us your thoughts on why we should be vegan?
If that's what you're talking about.
Sure.
If that's your position.
Yeah. Look, by the way, I am noticing a little bit of delay on my end, so that's fine. Okay, so clearly there are differences between. Sorry.
Discord is degraded a little bit.
You sound fine though. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm on literally one bar, but hey, I think we're good. So, I'm curious if you guys have any like substantive reasons to go vegan already. Like, have you run through the arguments 100%?
I mean, I'm not going to argue for going vegan, so I'm not sure what you want me to do here.
No. I'm saying, has somebody ever like argued towards.
Oh
like
yeah,
a
I mean,
vegan
look, we've been
position.
doing this radio show for, I mean, not everyone in the studio, but this show's been on the air, and I've been with it for 15 plus years at this point. So we've certainly had vegans call into the program in the past. By no means is this the first night in our history where we've had a veganism discussion with callers.
Yeah,
Fair
we're
enough.
all kind
Okay.
of
So here we go.
amateurish
So-
philosophers to some extent, so we have a lot of debate. So go ahead.
That's fair enough.
I think just a lot of people disagree with me, but
we're all amateurs here. I'm not like some big hotshot philosopher over here, but I think the arguments for veganism are pretty sound, and I was curious if you can test.
Well, why are you a vegan? Why don't you just tell us what your reason was?
Well, I'm hoping I can persuade you towards a vegan position, but the reasons why I went vegan was simply that I couldn't justify the animal holocaust. Like, I couldn't justify accepting abhorrent conditions for animals that I wouldn't accept for like children or like other.
Okay, but what about the what about the free range chickens instead of the caged chickens? Was that not good enough?
Free range? Well, I don't really necessarily know. Like, free range doesn't necessarily entail some like quality of treatment. Free range, it's just like, okay, yeah, these animals will have like space to roam around with, but
that's what that entails. Yes, that's correct. Can you define the Holocaust term since you also used it, please?
Yeah, sure. It's just slaughter or killing on a mass scale. So that can be used cross species.
What about the plant Holocaust?
Well, it seems like, I mean, okay, we can talk about plants for just a moment.
I think we should.
Plants, so because you brought it up. So plants, you'll actually end up using more plants. You'll kill more plants in essence, not being on a vegan diet. So just understand that that's a thing.
Hold that thought.
Matter,
I want to bring you back here, NK. If you can stand by, we're going to bring you back. More with NK in California. He's a vegan. He wants you to be vegan. And what do you think? If you want to jump in, you're welcome to join us here. 855-450 free. I've got an interesting story about plants and how they feel when caterpillars take a bite out of them. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced 6-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com. Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you are invited to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're actually loaded up right now, so if you want to get in on Discord, you're going to have to wait over at discord.lrn.fm. That's a nice problem to have. We've got a lot of people who are on the line on Discord who want to talk about veganism. Apparently, we have had a large influx of vegan listeners here tonight, and you're more than welcome to join us here. With you in the studio, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And Chris.
We're going to continue. And by the way, Free Talk Live is brought to you by local.bitcoin.com. It's the new site launched by bitcoin.com this summer to allow people to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods globally. And there's no ID requirements to sign up for or use the site, and communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. It's a global trading platform that respects your privacy. You can visit local.bitcoin.com and get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. As we go back to NK, he's on the line with us on the Discord server. NK, I'd asked you, and I'm glad we were able to have this conversation, and that we're actually listening and being able to answer and ask questions. Because I'd asked you about you'd asked about the Holocaust of the animals, and I said, well, what about Holocaust of plants? And
right. Yeah, that was the last thing.
And so I have a news story here about videos captured by researchers. A study from the University of Wisconsin-Madison published in, I guess it was last year in September, revealed that when a plant is injured, the plant releases a nervous system-like signal throughout the plant's body, similar to the pain response found in humans and other animals. When a human is injured, sensory cells in our bodies alert our nervous system to release the neurotransmitter glutamate. This stimulates a part of our brain to release adrenaline, which kicks in our fight or flight response into gear. Plants don't have the nervous systems, but video captured by the scientists behind the study of the injured plants shows that they do have their own version of fight or flight when they come under attack. Because they lack a nervous system, plants don't have neurotransmitters, but they still do have glutamate. In the video, a plant is bitten by a caterpillar and releases glutamate at the bite site. This activates a calcium wave to rush through the plant's entire body, which then triggers the plant to release their own stress hormone. Without going further, it's an interesting video to watch. You can actually see this glutamate shooting through this calcium wave shooting through the plant. It suggests that maybe plants don't want to be eaten. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I get it. just unclear on if those things are specifically connected to like some like neurological phenomena. I don't know if it's like very intuitive with respect to like medical, or rather authorities on plant biology. It seems like the general tendency is that we refer to two categories. We either refer to plant perception that is in the paranormal category or the physiology category. So you're either saying that there's something that is happening with respect to like photonastic responses, like response to like sunlight, chemonastic responses, like you were talking about, response to calcium. I don't know if I'm not convinced of the argument that that would
I'm not trying to convince
justify
you,
like slashing the throats of kids in Yemen, for instance. Like I wouldn't justify plants being like saying that just because I eat plants, I can then justify like.
That's not the argument. I'm not making that argument. I don't think anyone here is making that argument. I'm only bringing this up just to sort of question the idea that, like, a lot of people who support veganism are saying that they don't want to see animals get hurt. But what if plants are also getting hurt? I mean, I've also read another, I forget what the study was or whatever, but I read a story about they somehow, I don't know how they did this, but they discovered that through the root systems of plants, they also can communicate in some way with one another about plants being, harvested or attacked or whatever in one area. They can communicate that to other plants elsewhere. What if it turns out, it's just a thought question, like I'm not saying you ought to stop eating the way you eat or anything.
You're not
like
even
that.
saying this is correct.
I don't know. What if it turned out that plants
it's a philosophical
have
question.
feelings too?
Right.
Would you then starve yourself to death? NK? Are you still there? He's still connected.
Did he give up?
No, I don't know. He's
Hello?
still. Hey, are you? Yeah, you're still there.
Hey,
We
oh,
can hear
okay. Sorry. I was like trying to respond at certain points.
We hear you now.
Yeah. Okay. So, shit. I can't.
Oh, I'm
tell,
sorry. We
like,
can't have you saying that on the
No.
radio. I told you. We can't have you saying that on the radio. I apologize. Anyway, the toll-free number here was a good call, though. I mean,
Yeah, that was a great call.
Yeah, I do want to say.
Comparatively, anyway.
I just want to say thank you to NK because it was a great call. It was read until the S word, and then we had to let you go. So thanks for that. You can call back any other time, though, any other night. So let's continue here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've actually got some folks on the phone lines as well. This is a hot topic here. I'm going to say we could do an after show if you want to continue. I'm going to let you guys think about that. If you want to do more with it, because I suspect these calls will continue, and then we can go into.
I'd be down to do an after show.
We can go to our after show where you can say the S word on the air, and nobody gets mad about it. It's totally fine. On the after show, because the normal show that we do is for radio broadcast, and there's just a handful of words that the FCC just doesn't want said on the air, unfortunately. So we're going to continue with more of your calls and thoughts here, whether you want to talk about animal rights, veganism, etc., or bring up whatever's on your mind. Let's continue. Anglo Ubermensch is on the line, calling from the UK. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how you guys
That's
doing?
an interesting name.
I'm a Nietzsche fan. By the way, nice to talk to you because I'm actually an Austrian.
You're an Austrian or what?
School economist.
Oh,
and
excellent.
Libertarians. I thought you'd find that interesting.
Oh, groovy.
Very good, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to go back to this idea of plants having,
Huh? You cut off there, and I don't know if it's your voice activation feature. Plants having what?
I apologize. I want to go back to this idea in the last conversation about plants feeling.
Plants having feelings. Okay. I think what I'm going to ask you to do, Anglo, is I'm going to put you on hold for just a moment. I'm going to have you check your settings on your Discord and turn down the voice activation level. There's a setting in Discord where if the voice activation level sort of clip meter or whatever is too high up, if you get too quiet, it'll cut you off, and then we can't hear what you're trying to say. So I'm going to have you check that, and we're going to get back to you. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. the way you can watch our after show is you can connect to our Twitch or our DLive channel. These are our two of our main video streaming platforms. That's where we do the after shows when we do them, and it's actually been probably like most of a month.
Does
it's
it go out over Discord as well?
No, it does not. We're not going out over Discord right now anyway. There's no bot in Discord at the moment, so...
Oh, okay. So people are connecting into us from Discord, but they can't hear us on Discord.
Yeah, the Discord bot that transmits the show is highly unreliable, and it's not there most of the time. So the best way to listen to this show is to do it through either the TuneIn app or DLive or Twitch, your local radio station. You can go to freetalklive.com, lrn.fm. Discord really, at this point, is not a way to listen to lrn.fm, and it never really was. We tried to have an app in there. Anyway, more coming up. It's Free Talk Live. I'm not sure where our commercial break is, but we just ran straight into that. So at this point, I don't know if Genesis Communications Network is having some technical difficulties as well. We're just continuing to talk here into our break because at 29 minutes after, GCN is supposed to be playing some commercials, but they may be having some kind of difficulty.
Seeks to shed light on issues such as geopolitics, blockchain economics, spiritual health and wellness, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge, featuring Mark Passio, Max Egan, Derek Brose, Jeff Berwick, and many more this September 13th through 15th. For info and tickets, visit anarchadelphia.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got a bunch of people that want to talk about veganism on both our Discord call-in lines and also apparently on our normal call-in lines. Our normal lines, by the way, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Now, look, I don't care what you eat. It's none of my business. Whatever it is that makes you happy. If it feels good, I say do it. But one thing's for sure, no matter what you're eating, you do need to have good mouth hygiene. And My Magic Mud can help you with that. It's black tooth powder made of charcoalized coconut shells and bentonite clay. And I think a lot of us can agree that having a completely natural solution for cleaning your teeth is a better one. In fact, My Magic Mud is clinically proven to whiten teeth. It's available at health food stores like Sprouts, CVS, Natural Grocers, even Walmart's Natural Beauty aisle. And we can save you 20% off. You don't have to leave your house. You just go to mymagicmud.com and use code FTL20. That's FTL20 to save 20% off your purchase. And if you buy enough stuff, you'll get free shipping there as well. And it doesn't take much to get to the free shipping level. So head over to mymagicmud.com and get My Magic Mud. They've also got toothpaste. That's what I use here. And then there's also their mouthwash and some other products. mymagicmud.com, code FTL20 for 20% off. We go back to your phone calls and thoughts. Angelo Ubermensch is on the line with us here. Hopefully we can hear you better now. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me better?
So far, yes.
Yeah, excellent.
So what were you calling about?
So I wanted to go back to this issue on, plants having feelings.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but some evidence suggests that they might not like being eaten.
Let's say this. Let's assume that plants feel just as much as animals.
Okay.
It would still be more moral to go vegan. Do you know why? It's because you need to use more plants to feed animals and then use those animals to feed humans rather than actually just getting it directly from plants.
Okay, but you do
even if that was the case, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I see your point.
So the thing that I'm curious about is, do you believe that it's murder when one animal kills another animal?
I believe in the principle of necessity. So if we look at an animal in the wild, they have to kill and eat another animal, like, a lion and a gazelle, because there's that principle of necessity. They have to cause that pain and suffering to live. But us as humans living, in a modern era with supermarkets, we have all these, delicious vegan and vegetarian options. We really don't have the necessity to eat meat. In fact, eating meat actually causes so many health problems. It's actually ridiculously detrimental to eat meat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't speak to that. I can't agree with it or disagree with it. I don't know.
Well, some people have lost significant amount of weight going with the meat based diets. So,
yeah, well, myself included. I've been on a low carb diet for quite a while, and I'm down to 200 pounds from.
If you can lose a bunch of weight through eating meat, then that's actually better health. It sounds to me, but I'm not a doctor.
So I guess the issue that I have with the whole vegan idea, for one thing, it's not true that the whole world has supermarkets. Okay, there's a few privileged countries where people have supermarkets and nobody starves to death, but that's just in a few advanced, relatively free market countries. If you look at Africa, there's a lot of people who are starving to death, and so that's the land of plenty is, I guess, basically, regardless of whether or not animals have rights, I'm more concerned about the rights of humans, which are which are disregarded so widely that's the fight that interests me more.
Well, it's perfect that you would say that, actually, because let's take away from the Western idea, which I was trying to get to. But yeah, let's go to the third world. If we look at the amount of food, the amount of calories that you can produce per unit of land, it's much more economically efficient to produce plants as opposed to meat. So if you want to feed as many people as possible, then going on a vegan diet is actually the best way to do it.
What do you say to the people who say the opposite of what you say, that vegan diets don't have everything that you need. That if you look at vegans, they tend to be gaunt. They tend to seem like they're not as healthy as they could be. Is that
Sickly, right?
Is that just propaganda?
Yeah, I answer that.
Is that propaganda?
I believe that when we're looking at any issue, it's important that rather than looking at individual anecdotes, we look at the real scientific studies. So, for example, if we look at the UN report, like the official UN report that came out not long ago, they literally said that we could feed more people by feeding people on plant diets than animals. And in the worst case scenario, where everybody could only eat a plant diet, everything would be fine. And then, especially if we look at the best best cardiologists in the world, all of them say that like things like a vegan diet can be the only thing that can help to cure things like heart disease and stuff like that. So I think it's important we look at the professionals, we look at the scientists, rather than just saying my random vegan friend is a bit goofy.
So I don't necessarily disagree with a lot of what you're saying, actually, but I do have to ask you one question. Do you believe in animal rights?
Yes, I believe that animals have rights.
Okay, and then the next question is, do you believe in using violence against those who don't?
Don't what?
Don't believe in animal rights.
Do I believe in using violence against those who don't have animal rights?
That don't believe in animal
Basically,
rights.
are you willing to use force to defend animal rights is the question, I think.
No, I don't believe that the best way to prevent pain and suffering for animals in the long run is to use any kind of violence. I don't believe in using violence to broadcast my message of veganism, and I believe that humans are rational, and they will come to see that veganism is the best way.
That's a completely legitimate position, and I completely respect it. As long as you're not willing to use violence against your neighbors who might be have a different belief system than you, then you're okay with me as far as that's concerned. Was there anything else you wanted to share tonight?
Well, I mean, I wanted to push you on an issue before. So you've essentially said that you live in a Western society where you can eat plant products, but yet by buying meat, you are contributing to the pain and suffering of millions of animals. 150 million animals do die every day, and that's important to bring up, and you are contributing to the pain and suffering that takes place. So why don't you incorporate more vegetables in your diet, or even go vegetarian or vegan? I'm curious why you think you have the right to kill animals.
Well, the answer to that is I am an animal, okay, and I evolved in certain ways, and I evolved to be a human and to live as a human, and humans are omnivorous. I don't have to me, a human is not apart from nature. It's a part of nature. So unless we're going to start going out with hunting rifles and killing, lions for hunting, then I guess it's not a concern to me. Everything in nature kills things to live. That's just part of it. It's not a black and white.
It's not a black and white.
Things work.
It's not a black and white issue as you're projecting it to be. There are benefits to eating meat, and there's also negatives to eating meat. One of those negatives is an animal dies.
Yeah, and I don't want to kill an animal personally. I'm grateful for the people who do that sort of work, and I think a lot of people appreciate the ones that do the less harmful or the less slaughtery style methods of doing that.
I think the solution to this is to work on basically creating better products effectively.
Well, what about lab-grown meat?
Right.
Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I mean, effectively, I think this is a great example. Lab-grown meat.
What do you think about that, Angela? Would you eat lab-grown meat?
I would certainly consider it. I mean, to be honest, I've got to this point being vegan that my taste buds have just completely changed, and I actually don't really want to eat meat.
Yeah, sure, fair enough.
I'd like to push you on something you said though.
I want to say this. I want to make room for other folks, but you're welcome to call any night of the week. We're here 7 nights a week, and it's been a good call. So thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. We got some other people here that have been waiting patiently. I'm going to try to get as many of them in on the radio show as we can, and then we can
How many
keep
do we
going.
got? How many callers do we got?
Probably more than we're going to be able to fit in.
Wow.
There's a couple on the phones. There's a couple on Discord.
Okay.
And we'll continue, though. We'll keep this going after hours. We'll do an after show here. And then if you want to call back in, if you've already called in once, that's fine. But I want to get people on who haven't had a chance to speak yet. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to blackriflerealestate.com. That's blackriflerealestate.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain in this radio version of Free Talk Live. And I want to say welcome to those who are tuning in for the first time tonight, not just on the radio, but on our internet platforms. We're on, of course, Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm, DLive at dlive.lrn.fm. And we don't mention it a whole lot, but we are on YouTube, and some people are sharing the YouTube link in the chat room. I want to try to discourage you from doing that. We are on YouTube on the radio show, but when we change into after show mode, we will not be on YouTube. So the after show only is available on Twitch and DLive. So you need to, if you want to keep listening after our radio show's over, we're going to keep going. We'll go into internet only mode, which means that you can say words that you can't say on the radio on the internet show, but we don't do that on the YouTube channel. We only do that on Twitch and DLive. So
now,
head over
for
there.
Twitch and DLive, for those who don't know, do you need to install any special software?
No, you don't. Just a web browser.
A web page.
Yeah, anybody with a web browser. If you want to watch on your phone, you probably ought to download their app. It makes it easier. And there's an app for DLive and there's an app for Twitch. So either one of those will work.
Is there a stream? There's no stream to the website either for the after show, right?
There's no audio stream to
there's a video stream
Free Talk Live on DLive and Twitch. That's where the video stream.
Okay, but not on the freekeen.com site.
Freekeen doesn't have anything to do with this.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Right. So our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're going to continue. It's Ian, Nobody, and Chris in the studio here tonight. I don't know if we're going to get back to the rest of your story. We had this cable company story. It was interesting, and I hope we'll get a chance to talk about it again.
It was pretty good, but let's keep going with this. This is also interesting. So.
Yeah, well, this is the way the show works. You call in, we'll talk to you about whatever it is that you want to discuss, and let's go to Shadow Starshine on our lines on Discord. Go ahead, Shadow Starshine.
Hey, so I was just listening into the majority of the conversation that you guys were having on veganism. I missed the ask yourself part about it, but I
you didn't miss much.
Discussing. I probably agree with that, but
well, the other callers have been fantastic.
I wanted to talk about and I know a lot of them too. I wanted to talk about both the sort of smuggling in the value of the Holocaust word, or like the murder word, as you guys were saying. A lot of it is the sort of rhetorical device in order to smuggle in a value of a conversation without being descriptive of what's actually happening, in order to try and sway you emotionally to
right. That's absolutely what it is.
Definitely.
Yep.
And so, I know like the whole ask yourself stick is to try and get Holocaust as a reasonable description, because under some technical limitations, there's like, well, it's destruction or slaughter on a mass scale. But, if we talk about it like that, then even if you harvest plants, some animals will die, and feeding an entire billions of people will cause, on a mass scale, animals to die. So
plus the whole term Holocaust.
A vegan still support Holocaust, and also like if it means destruction, then destroying vegetables is a Holocaust, and obviously we're just losing the sense of the meaning of the word.
Right. I understand what they're trying to do, and I think your description of it was the most accurate. And they're trying to evoke emotion. It's not like a Holocaust, because in the real Holocaust, they didn't make more Jews to replace the Jews that they were exterminating. Right? Like if you want to keep, if you want to keep your business of selling meat going, you have to keep making more of it. And the same thing's true for vegetables. You got to keep planting plants if you want to keep your business going and keep feeding people.
Yeah, it's almost like
you could say that's the difference, because like the Jewish Holocaust was about eradication, whereas
that's right.
in the animal agriculture isn't. Like I also understand what the vegans are trying to do, because they feel like from their perspective they have that value sensation, maybe similar to the Jewish Holocaust, where to us,
for them this is emotional. There's no doubt about it. It's absolutely an emotional thing that says they believe that animals are basically at the same level of humans as far as rights are concerned.
I don't think I've ever heard a vegan say they're at the same level, but of a high enough value that, you get that sort of value response.
Fair enough.
Right. Whereas, and I don't really agree. I don't really get that sort of response. And I think that tends to be the majority of people. But, now
you said to me off the air before you go on, Shadow, you said off the air that you are not a vegan.
I am not. No,
what is your preference? Are you vegetarian? Are you omnivore?
I'm just a regular omnivore.
Mm-hmm.
I think out of all the arguments, I suppose environmentally, there's probably the strongest pull towards doing something. And I would also say that, like, to some point, I care about, animal welfare. I might not go to like the vegan level of wanting animal welfare, but I think there's a certain level of treatment we owe to animals.
I agree with you, and I think that's societal.
I feel like that kind of puts down vegans, because not all vegans are doing it for the same reason, right? I think there's different perspectives, so we're kind of grouping them all together here.
Yeah, I know the common like sort of internet debating sort of that sphere, and I've talked to a lot of them. they don't put like animals on the same level, but they're definitely more than just like welfareists. It's a strictly abolitionist position where it's like no matter how you do it, it's wrong.
I think people who even eat animals can kind of sympathize in some respects, with that position.
You mean empathize?
Empathize, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, I mean, I could certainly see why somebody would say, the slaughter of animals is wrong. I don't necessarily know that I think the negatives, or the positives outweigh the negatives for it, but.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're wrong for having that feeling.
Yeah.
I think it's a legitimate feeling to have.
Yeah,
I do too, but I mean, I'm somewhat of a moral relativist. I think we all come at it from our own perspectives.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And so I can understand the vegan position from their perspective.
If I was in
feel this way about animals, then this would only make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a Vice.com documentary about the South China, or I forget what the city was, where they still have like the dog eating festival once a year that many people obviously are very offended by. And the Vice reporter in that case, she actually did sit down and she tried some of the dog dishes that they'd prepped up, and I have to say I'd be willing to try it as well. Not because I support slaughtering my own dog or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
But just because, when in Rome, the people that are there, they don't even view those animals as pets. They are raised for the purpose of being slaughtered. Now, I may not agree with the conditions in which they're kept and all of that, but they don't even look at them as pets. They have pets, and they don't slaughter their pets. They slaughter the animals that are bred for that. And that's not to. I'm not trying to convince anybody, but that's just their perspective. And like you said, a moral relativism.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. It's very hard to argue from an objective standpoint that dogs are somehow special beyond any other animal. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to utility, we can argue that dogs are above, most other animals. You have guard dogs, police dogs, blind aid dogs, all these sorts of things where dogs are certainly more useful, even though pigs might be more
Smarter.
intelligent by some studies. You can't really utilize them in the same sort of specs that we can for dogs. But saying that would exclude them from being eaten, it makes it a harder argument because, at the base point, we're using dogs for whatever we find most useful about them.
It's true. Shadow, I want to say good call, man. If you want more, we'll stick around for the after show, but I want to make sure we get some more folks here during the radio show. So thank you for the call tonight. Let's go to the phones where Ryan is on the line in Houston. Ryan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Whether or not you think do no harm applies to plants or animals, I think we all agree on freedom to make your own decisions, and I want everyone to amp, and it's the best $5 a month I spend.
Oh, hey, man, thanks for actually bringing that up. I forgot to thank tonight's amplifier. That's Jesse Cruz, by the way. He's a Free Talk Live Silver amplifier, and apparently you are one as well, Ryan. So thank you for that support. The AMP program allows us to get on more radio stations, talk about freedom as far and as wide as possible. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com. So what were your thoughts? Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, when it comes to vegan and do no harm, ask any fruit or vegetable farmer in the world. They have a holocaust going on against all the deer, rabbits, hogs, bears, armadillos, squirrels, birds. They kill a bunch of animals to grow that lettuce and that kale and that carrot and everything else that the vegans like to eat. A lot of animals get killed.
That's an interesting point. So you're saying that in order to protect the farmland from these, ravaging...
Farmers are constantly battling animals that want to eat the fruits and
who
vegetables.
aren't respecting their property rights, by the way, and staying off the land.
Right.
And the bottom line is everything kills everything.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that is life. I wish we had more time, Ryan. I thank you for the call. If you want to jump in to the Discord channels, please do. We will start our after show here in a matter of minutes as soon as we get off the air on the radio. So if you're on twitch.lrn.fm or dlive.lrn.fm, stick around. We're going to continue with our internet-only Freer Talk Live coming up in moments. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL. I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,528, silver at $18.25, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,480. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, leaked emails from scientists working with agrochemical giant Monsanto feature company leaders in 2013 wishing they could, quote, beat the S out of, end quote, advocacy group Moms Across America. The group wrote an open letter asking Monsanto to discontinue the use of the pesticide glyphosate, which some research has tied to cancers, and to stop producing genetically modified seeds that was seen by company executives as a public relations disaster. The emails were released as part of litigation relating to the cancer-causing effects of glyphosate against Monsanto's now parent company, Bayer. The emails, New York Times reporter Eric Lipton said on Twitter, show, quote, how Monsanto worked to try to influence public opinion in alliance with academics who it sometimes helped fund, end quote. In a statement, Green advocacy organization, the Environmental Working Group's president, Ken Cook, said the emails revealed, quote, the utter contempt that Monsanto has for public health and for consumers, including mothers who only want to protect their kids' health, end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. In a long-awaited report released Thursday morning, the Department of Justice's Inspector General revealed that former FBI Director James Comey's handling of the memos he took from meetings with President Trump before he was unceremoniously fired in early 2017 violated department policy and